Cole Morgan took a deep breath as he stood outside the grand entrance of La Belle Vie, the city's most prestigious restaurant. The polished glass doors reflected the dim glow of the evening lights, and inside, the soft murmur of well-dressed diners floated out into the night air. Cole looked down at his daughter, Laya, who was clutching his hand tightly. She was dressed in a delicate lavender dress, the kind of dress her mother had once dreamed of seeing her wear. Her curly hair was tied back with a ribbon, and she held a small fabric purse, a gift from her late mother sewn with love years ago. Tonight was supposed to be special, a celebration of Laya's 5th birthday, a night to create a new memory filled with joy. Cole adjusted his shirt collar nervously, his worn hands brushing away the dust from his polished work boots. He had spent weeks preparing for this moment, saving every extra dollar from his job fixing engines and delivering repairs. This was more than a dinner. It was a promise to his daughter that even in their hardships, they could have moments of happiness and beauty. He cleared his throat and stepped forward. "Excuse me, sir, do you have a reservation?" The maitre d's voice cut sharply through the warmth of the lobby. His smile was practiced and polite but failed to reach his eyes. Cole straightened his shoulders and met the man's gaze. "Yes, Morgan, for 7 p.m. I called 3 days ago." His voice was calm, but beneath it lay a flicker of hope. The maitre d' flipped through a large leather-bound book without much care, his fingers grazing the pages before snapping it shut. "I'm afraid I don't see your reservation here," he said flatly. "And we have a strict dress code. No denim, no work boots." Cole's jaw tightened. He had been careful, choosing a shirt without stains, polishing his boots until they gleamed. His hands, rough from years of manual labor, had been scrubbed clean until they ached. He looked down at Laya, who was watching the exchange with wide, confused eyes. "It's my daughter's birthday," Cole said quietly, his voice heavy with a mixture of pain and determination. "Her first without her mom." The maitre d' raised, an eyebrow unaffected. "That's unfortunate, but we're at full capacity tonight. Appearances matter here." A hush fell over the room. The other diners shifted uncomfortably, casting sideways glances. Some looked annoyed, others sympathetic but silent. No one spoke up. No one except one woman. From a table near the window, an elegant woman rose gracefully. She wore a deep green dress that seemed to blend with the shadows of the room, her dark hair pulled loosely to reveal a calm yet commanding presence. She moved with a quiet confidence that suggested she had seen hardship herself and emerged stronger. "I believe there's been a misunderstanding," she said gently but firmly. "This gentleman and his daughter are my guests." The maitre d' stiffened, his tone sharpening. "Miss Davenport, do you really want to make a scene in front of the other patrons?" Her eyes did not waver. "Yes. I want to speak clearly. These two will be dining with me. If you have an issue, you may take it up with me." Cole turned to her, surprised and unsure, while Laya looked up at him, wide-eyed. Ava Davenport extended her hand toward Cole, not with pity, but with a purpose that filled the room. "Please join me. I have a table set for 3. Cole hesitated, the weight of pride and exhaustion heavy on his shoulders. But then he looked at Laya's hopeful face, and he nodded. As they followed Ava through the dining room, the atmosphere shifted. The air seemed lighter, warmer. Ava's kindness was not just an act of charity. It was a quiet rebellion against the world's indifference. At the table, Ava smiled gently at Laya, who shyly took a seat between them. Cole felt a lump rise in his throat. For one night, they were not outsiders. They were simply a family, bound by love, loss, and the unexpected kindness of a stranger who understood what it meant to carry unseen burdens. That evening, over candles and carefully prepared food, Cole realized something precious. Sometimes when the world closes its doors, a single act of kindness can open a window to hope. The restaurant's warm glow wrapped around them as Cole, Leia, and Ava settled into the elegant corner table. The clinking of glasses and soft murmurs of other diners faded into the background, leaving a quiet intimacy that felt like a refuge from the outside world. Cole still carried a mix of disbelief and gratitude. How had this stranger known they needed this night so badly? Ava's eyes softened as she looked at Laya, who was clutching the small fabric purse her mother had sewn. "Happy birthday, Laya," Ava said gently, her voice full of warmth. Laya's face lit up, a shy smile breaking through her uncertainty. "Thank you," she whispered, glancing at her father for reassurance. Cole found himself watching Ava with a quiet curiosity. There was something about her presence, calm, unshakable, like she'd weathered storms and found peace beyond the chaos. He wanted to know her story, but for now, words felt heavy. So he simply nodded and gave a small smile. The waiter approached and Ava ordered for them, choosing dishes that sounded both exquisite and comforting. As they waited, Ava shared a little about herself, though not too much. She was a widow, she said, having lost her husband to illness several years ago. Since then, she had dedicated herself to helping others quietly, away from the public eye. It was clear she carried pain, but it didn't define her. Instead, it had shaped a compassionate strength that radiated from her every gesture. Cole found himself opening up about Laya's mother, about the days when he felt overwhelmed by the weight of being both mother and father to his daughter. "I never thought I'd be the kind of dad who had to be so strong all the time," he confessed softly. "Some days I just want to break down and cry." Ava reached across the table and gently touched his hand. "Strength isn't about never breaking, Cole. It's about choosing to stand back up over and over. You're already doing more than you realize." Laya, who had been listening quietly, suddenly spoke up. "Daddy, can I have the chocolate cake now? It's my birthday." Her innocent excitement made Cole laugh, the sound light and freeing. That night, the conversation flowed easily, weaving between laughter and tears, dreams and fears. Ava shared stories of her own struggles and triumphs, showing Cole that even in loss, there is room for new beginnings. The hours slipped by unnoticed, until the restaurant began to empty and the soft music grew quieter. As they prepared to leave, Ava handed Cole a small envelope. "This is for you," she said, "not just for tonight, but for whatever comes next." Cole hesitated before opening it. Inside was a card with a handwritten note and a modest check. The note read, "For Laya's future and your courage. Keep believing. Ava." Tears welled in Cole's eyes as he looked up. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll keep trying," Ava replied with a smile, "and when you're ready, pay it forward. There are more people like you who need a little hope." Walking out into the night, Cole held Laya close. For the first time in a long while, he felt a flicker of hope, not just for tonight, but for every tomorrow they would face together. The kindness of a stranger had reminded him that even when doors close, life has a way of opening new ones. As they disappeared into the city's quiet streets, Laya's laughter echoed behind them, a bright light piercing the darkness, promising that no matter how hard the road, they would walk it hand in hand, stronger than ever before. The days that followed that unforgettable night at La Belle Vie were unlike any Cole had known in years. The kindness Ava had shown wasn't just a fleeting moment. It sparked something deep within him, a quiet fire of hope and determination he hadn't felt since Laya's mother passed away. With the envelope tucked safely away, Cole returned to his workshop with a new purpose. The garage smelled of oil and metal, familiar and grounding. Cole spent long hours working on engines, his hands steady but his mind racing with possibilities. The small check Ava had given him wasn't just money, it was a symbol of belief, a vote of confidence from a stranger who saw more than just a struggling single dad. It reminded him that even when life seemed bleak, people could be unexpectedly generous, and that generosity could change everything. One afternoon, while working on a classic car's engine, Cole noticed Laya quietly sitting on a stool nearby, drawing pictures in her sketchbook. Her innocent presence softened the rough edges of his day. He smiled, remembering how fragile and resilient she was all at once. Despite her young age, she had already endured so much, yet her laughter still filled the room like sunshine. Cole thought about Ava often. He wanted to reach out, to thank her properly, but he wasn't sure how. She had stepped into their lives like a guardian angel, mysterious yet comforting. Then, one evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky with shades of pink and orange, his phone buzzed. It was a message from Ava. "Dinner again? I'd love to hear more about you and Laya." His heart skipped. He typed back quickly, accepting. When they met that night, Ava's smile was as warm as before, and the restaurant's atmosphere welcomed them like an old friend. But this time, the conversation deepened. Ava asked about Cole's dreams beyond, the garage, about the hopes he held for Laya's future. Cole hesitated, but then shared a secret he'd kept close. The dream to open a community center, a place where children like Laya could find support, education, and joy, somewhere safe from the struggles that shadowed their daily lives. It was an ambitious dream for a man barely keeping afloat, but saying it out loud felt like planting a seed. Ava listened carefully, her eyes shining. "That's a beautiful dream, Cole, and it's possible. Sometimes all we need is a little help." Over the next weeks, Ava became more than just a benefactor. She was a mentor and friend. She introduced Cole to people who could help, local business owners, educators, and volunteers, each ready to contribute to the dream. Slowly, the pieces began to fall into place. But the road wasn't without challenges. Doubts crept in. Could he really make a difference? Was he strong enough to carry the weight of such a dream? Yet every time fear threatened to overwhelm him, Laya's bright smile and Ava's steady encouragement reminded him why he had to try. One evening, as they walked home beneath the stars, Laya tugged at his hand and said, "Daddy, I think Mommy would be proud." Cole squeezed her hand tight, feeling tears prick at his eyes. "I hope so, sweetheart, I hope so." That night, in the quiet of their small apartment, Cole looked around at the simple things, the worn furniture, the handmade toys, the laughter echoing from a little girl who believed in miracles. He understood that no matter how far he traveled, from where they'd started, the heart of their journey was love. And love, he realized, was the most powerful engine of all. It could move mountains, build dreams, and transform the darkest nights into a dawn full of hope. Weeks passed since that pivotal evening when Ava had welcomed Cole and Laya into her world, and the momentum of change began to ripple through their lives. The dream of the community center started taking shape, but with it came new challenges, questions, setbacks, and moments when the weight of responsibility felt overwhelming. Yet each time doubt crept in, Cole found strength in the eyes of his daughter, who embodied hope and resilience beyond her years. One chilly morning, Cole stood outside the worn-down building they hoped to transform, a place that once served as a forgotten community hall, neglected and silent. The walls were cracked, the windows dusty, and the paint peeling. Yet in Cole's mind, it was alive with possibilities. It would be a refuge, a beacon for children who, like Laya, deserved a chance to smile freely and dream boldly. With Ava's guidance and the help of volunteers, they organized a cleanup day. The air was filled with the sound of laughter, the scrape of brushes, and the buzz of shared purpose. Children from the neighborhood joined in, their faces bright with excitement. For Cole, seeing their eagerness, he realized how much this place meant, not just as a building, but as a symbol of new beginnings. Yet as the days grew busier, so did the pressures. Cole juggled late nights at the garage with early mornings at the center, every moment stretched thin. Financial worries loomed large. The donations weren't enough to cover the mounting expenses. Sometimes, exhaustion wrapped around him like a heavy cloak. One afternoon, after a particularly long day, Cole sat on a bench outside the center, wiping the sweat from his brow. Laya, energetic as ever, ran up to him, her face flushed with joy. "Daddy, look what I made," she exclaimed, holding out a crumpled drawing of a big heart surrounded by stars. Cole smiled, pulling her into a gentle hug. "It's beautiful, sweetheart." Suddenly Ava appeared beside them, her presence steady and reassuring. "You're doing something incredible, Cole. she said quietly. Don't let the hard days make you forget that. Her words echoed in his heart. He thought about the nights spent worrying, the moments of fear, and how far they'd come. Ava's belief was a lifeline, a reminder that even when the road was rough, it was worth walking. As the center's opening day approached, the community buzzed with anticipation. Flyers were posted, invitations sent, and everyone was invited to celebrate what had become a shared dream. Ava and Cole worked side by side, preparing the final touches, painting walls, setting up bookshelves, arranging tables. On the morning of the grand opening, the sun rose bright and warm. Families gathered, children laughing and chasing each other across the freshly cleaned floors. Cole watched Laya greet every guest with a shy smile, her eyes sparkling with pride. Ava took the microphone and spoke to the crowd. This center is more than bricks and mortar. It's a promise that no matter where you come from or what hardships you face, you belong here. You are seen, you are valued, and you are loved. Tears welled in Cole's eyes as applause filled the room. For the first time in a long while, he felt the full weight of hope, carried not by himself alone, but by a community united in kindness. Later, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Cole stood outside the center, holding Laya close. We did it, didn't we? He whispered. She nodded, resting her head on his shoulder. Mommy would be so proud. Cole smiled through the tears. Yes, sweetheart, she would be. And in that moment, surrounded by the warmth of friendship and the promise of tomorrow, Cole understood that the journey they had begun together was just the start of a new chapter, a chapter filled with love, courage, and the unstoppable power of believing in better days ahead. The community center had become a bright spot in the neighborhood, a place where laughter echoed through the halls and dreams took root in the hearts of children who once felt forgotten. For Cole, seeing the joy in Laya's eyes as she played with new friends and explored bookshelves filled with stories was a daily reminder of why he had fought so hard. But amid the growing success, life had a way of testing their resilience in unexpected ways. One evening, as Cole locked up the center, his phone rang. It was Ava, her voice steady but urgent. Cole, there's something I need to tell you. Can we meet? Curiosity and concern mixed in his chest as he agreed. They met at a quiet cafe nearby, the low hum of conversations wrapping around them. Ava looked tired, but determined. There's a new development with the property next door, she began carefully. A developer wants to buy it and tear down the building. If that happens, it could affect our center, parking, noise, everything. Cole felt a chill. The thought of losing what they had built, the sanctuary for Laya and so many others, was devastating, but Ava's calm presence steadied him. We're going to fight this, she said firmly. We'll rally the community, gather support, and make sure they know what this center means. Over the next weeks, Cole threw himself into the battle to save the center. Meetings with city officials, petitions, and community rallies filled his days. Laya, too young to fully grasp the tension, sensed the seriousness and tried her best to cheer her father with drawings and hugs. One afternoon, while organizing flyers with volunteers, Cole caught sight of Ava speaking passionately to a group of neighbors. Her voice carried strength and hope, inspiring others to believe in the cause. Watching her, Cole realized how much she had become not just a supporter but a true partner in this journey. Despite the pressure, moments of lightness still broke through. One rainy day, Cole found himself laughing as Laya danced around the center in her rain boots, splashing through puddles and refusing to come inside. That laughter was a balm, proof that even amid uncertainty, joy could still flourish. The community's response was overwhelming. Support poured in from every corner. Letters from parents, messages from local businesses, even offers of free services to help maintain the center. The strength of this collective belief fueled Cole's determination. Finally, the day of the city council hearing arrived. Cole stood before the panel, his heart pounding, with Ava and dozens of community members behind him. He spoke from the gay heart, sharing stories of the children who had found a safe place, the parents who felt relief, and the hope that the center inspired. When the decision was announced, to protect the center and deny the developer's request, cheers erupted. Tears of relief and joy streamed down faces. Cole hugged Ava tightly, overwhelmed by the victory born of unity and faith. That night, as he tucked Laya into bed, she whispered, "Daddy, we saved our home." "Yes, sweetheart," he replied softly. "Together, we saved it." In the quiet that followed, Cole reflected on how far they had come, from a night of rejection to a future filled with possibility. The road had been long and winding, but with every step, they had learned the power of hope, the strength in community, and the unbreakable bond between a father and his daughter. And as sleep took Laya's peaceful breath, Cole made a silent promise to keep fighting, to keep dreaming, and to keep believing that even the smallest acts of kindness could change the world. The months that followed the council's decision brought a renewed energy to the community center. What was once a dream born from hardship had blossomed into a vibrant hub where hope and joy intertwined in every corner. Cole watched with pride as children filled the rooms with laughter, their stories unfolding like petals opening to the sun. Laya, now more confident and radiant, had blossomed alongside the center, her spirit fueled by the love and support that surrounded her. Yet, as the center grew, so did the sense of purpose within Cole's heart. The journey had transformed him, teaching lessons he never expected about resilience, kindness, and the true meaning of family. He found himself waking earlier, working harder, driven by a quiet determination to make every moment count for Laya and the children who depended on them. One crisp autumn afternoon, Ava arrived with a thoughtful smile and a small box wrapped in delicate paper. "I have something for you," she said, her eyes sparkling with a mix of mischief and warmth. Curious, Cole carefully untied the ribbon and opened the box to reveal a leather-bound journal, its pages blank and inviting. "For your stories," Ava explained softly. "The stories of this journey, of hope, struggle, and triumph. They deserve to be told." Cole's throat tightened. Writing had never been his strength, but the idea stirred something deep inside him. With Ava's encouragement, he began to write, at first hesitantly, then with growing passion. He chronicled the nights of doubt, the moments of unexpected kindness, and the laughter that filled their days. His words became a testament to the power of perseverance and the magic that happens when hearts unite. As the journal grew, so did the community's involvement. Parents shared their own stories, children's artwork adorned the walls, and volunteers contributed their talents, weaving a tapestry of lives touched by the center's light. One evening, as Cole sat with Laya by the fireplace, she looked up with wide eyes and asked, "Daddy, do you think Mommy is proud of us?" Cole pulled her close, feeling the steady beat of her heart against his chest. "I know she is, sweetheart. Every step we take, she's right here with us." In that moment, surrounded by warmth and love, Cole realized the true gift of their journey, the unbreakable bond between past and present, loss and hope, pain and healing. The center had not only changed the lives of the children it served, but had transformed Cole and Laya in ways they never imagined. It was a beacon, a reminder that even in the darkest moments light could be found, and with it, the courage to keep moving forward. And as the seasons turned and new stories began to bloom, Cole understood that their journey was far from over. It was just the beginning of a legacy of love, strength, and the unwavering belief that together they could face anything life placed before them. With a heart full of gratitude and eyes set on the future, Cole smiled, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that no matter the challenges, they would face them hand in hand, forever united by hope and the promise of better days.